My name is David. I'm the WeatheringtonPhoto.com, and in this video I'm going to share with you the tips that I learned from doing the senior session with Rylie. The tip number one I have is to be better prepared. The second tip I have is to not overestimate what you are able to do. And then tip number three is to have a plan B, a second plan of action, and then to be willing to abandon your first plan and go to plan B, no matter how much you are looking forward to plan A. In this video series, I'm going to share with you the tips and the mistakes that I've made on each one of my senior sessions through this past year. Alright, so if you want to learn from the mistakes that I've made as I learn them as well, be sure to hit the subscribe button, because over the next couple of months I'm going to be doing one of these videos hopefully a week. In each one of these we can learn together of the mistakes that I made so we don't make them again in the future, and then we'll get better. Alright, so if you want to learn from the mistakes that I've made, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Let's go into tip number one. Tip number one needs a little bit of a background. I've been a huge Matt Hernandez fan for a long time, pretty much since I started getting into photography. I found his Instagram account and his sports portraits, and I absolutely love him. In fact, if you look at a lot of my work, a lot of it is as close to his as I can possibly get. I love his work. I love his colors. He uses flash. I use flash. We both have kind of a saturated. His a little bit darker and muted, more dramatic than mine, but he does a lot of action shots as well, which I like to do, or like to try to do. He does them really well. The problem is Matt Hernandez is an elite pro at the top of his game. Me, I'm only a couple of years into photography, and while I want to be, and one day I think I'll be able to get to the level that Matt Hernandez is at, I'm definitely not there now. So going into Rylie's session, I was really looking forward to getting a shot where she's throwing the ball right at the camera. And I thought it'd be a lot easier than it looked, and I was very wrong. So the tip I have coming from Rylie's session, knowing I was trying to get a shot like Matt Hernandez's action sports portraits, is I should have been a lot better prepared. I should have went out a day or two at least, if not a week or a month beforehand, just so I can play around when it doesn't count, when I could have a friend or a family member out there in the field, even just standing there. I have a mannequin. I could have taken the mannequin to the field just to try to get that shot that I was going for, to have an idea of where to start. Because the problem is, when I got to the session, I had a bare minimum knowledge of the proper way to use flash and underexpose, and my modifier was wrong. So if I would have taken the time in advance to practice, I would have been a lot better prepared for the actual situation, and then I wouldn't have been trying to figure out things on location with Rylie. The session would have went a lot better. In doing so, we could have got the shot I wanted quicker, sooner, giving us opportunities to take even more photos and even better opportunities. So that tip number one I have is to be better prepared. If you have a shot in mind that you haven't done in the past, like I did in this situation, I've done similar ones where I've been inside of a gymnasium with Darius Duncan and Zeke diving for a tennis ball. I thought that would be similar to this one a lot, but it was completely different. So that tip, just be better prepared. That way when it comes to the time, you at least have a good, strong base knowledge that you can build upon. Yeah, not everything is going to be exactly the same in any given situation, but just having that base knowledge will get you a lot further than just showing up and thinking you got it. All right, so tip number two from Rylie's session is don't overestimate what you think you can do. While it's good to have a good idea of what you can do and what you know you can do, and it's good to overestimate it, to swing for the fences, so to speak. But when it comes to doing a session, you have to be able to get the shot right then. There are going to be times where you're trying things and everybody knows it, and it's okay. But you're still working with individuals that are expecting something from you, expecting something from me, and then me getting frustrated because I'm not being able to deliver it right now. It really just came back down to me overestimating what I thought I could do. So that second tip, don't overestimate what you think you can do. While it is good to try, just make sure that you know where your limits are. We got to push them, but we should know where we can go in a real photo session. We don't want to try to go too far too soon. Get our safe shots, get the shots that we know we can get, and then if we have time, we can start experimenting. But during a session isn't the time to start practicing and getting new shots. Those should be practiced well in advance. That goes back to tip number one, just being better prepared. So be better prepared and don't overestimate your abilities. The tip number 3 I have from Rylie's session is to have a plan B. And then in line with plan B is don't be afraid to abandon plan A. What I did is I had in mind an exact photo that I wanted to get, and I wanted that photo. And it wasn't working out. In fact, I got better pictures of her pitching, shooting through a fence during a real game than I did during her photo session where I was controlling everything, which is pretty poor. So I should have acknowledged it. I should have just said to myself, this isn't working, let's do something different. But instead I was adamant about getting that shot. So that third tip is to have a plan B and to ditch plan A if it is not working out. Take a little bit of humility to do so, but it'll make the sessions get better, and you'll get better photos too, because you're not going to be spending your time getting a photo or not getting a photo that isn't working. So thank you for watching the video. Once again, my 3 tips from Rylie's sessions were 1, to be better prepared, 2, don't overestimate your abilities, and number 3, have a plan B and the humility to abandon plan A. Please let me know in the comments below, have you ever been in a situation where you were either ill-prepared or overestimated your abilities? I'd really like to know. I'm not alone in this, but sometimes I feel like I am. So let me know in the comments below if you've ever ran into a situation like this, or if these tips will help you out. And then if you watch the video, I'm opening it up to you as well. If you notice any mistakes that I've made that I didn't catch or bring up in this video, please let me know. Be gentle. It is something I'm very proud of, something that means a lot to me. Kind of touches my inner being. So be gentle, be kind, and I'm always open to criticism and feedback. So if you can be friendly, I'd love to hear from you guys. And until next session, when we go over Jaden's session, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.